right, we're live. Welcome back. It's been quite a while. I saw just from the last thumbnail that I had made for the YouTube channel. It was dated from late May, so that means I didn't even get to touch this project since June. I mean, I've been busy, which is good, but I've missed being busy down here. I'll show you. Here's our guy where we left him. And as I said in the description of the stream, I have been stared down by this face for over a month, saying, when are you going to finish painting me? So maybe it'll be today. I intend to be on for quite a while because I'm all alone this weekend. So I got to keep busy, and hopefully my sweet departed girl, departed from this house, not from this plane of existence, is watching somewhere. Oh, look, Carrie's here. Hi, Carrie. I have a fridge magnet that I painted on here that has your name on it. I just have to have the presence of mind to take it to the post office. She's been kidnapped by Eric. I think that makes me an accessory, though, because we're right here together. This is kind of the situation from your senior film, where maybe I'm trying to help Carrie get released, but she's actually being held captive in the next room where, you know, I'm renting out a black site to the Phantom of the Opera, just like the script that you wrote. Those were the plot details. Yes, hello again, Carrie. Well, it's this. Yeah, that's right. I recently watched that whole movie back. Because I cut an acting reel. And I don't know if you two got this news, and I guess I'll announce it to the whole channel, that I got my first acting role in a local play. I've been rehearsing for a couple of weeks now. I had rehearsal today and last night, and I'm going back Tuesday. And I have to learn stage fencing for this one. So I've been practicing with my toy lightsabers at home. Great, yeah, tickets just went on sale. It opens September 18th, and it runs until October 10th. So there's plenty of time to come make a trip. And then we'll be doing another trip to Chiller, I believe. The five of us. And maybe our buddy here will be gracing the contest. That sounded pompous. I mean, I always bring a Rubbermaid full of kits to all of those contests. Shane is taunting me because he's the #1 chatter. That's Shane's other favorite Cenobite, #1 chatter. That's the character's name. And it's Shane's favorite horror franchise, especially the second movie. But Shane's only preference over the second movie is hearing about all of the Hellraiser sequels in sequence. That's what being #1 chatter gets you, Shane. Shane and Carrie, it warmed my heart to connect with you both on LinkedIn this week. I've never been so excited to see a LinkedIn notification. This really is hell. God, what's happening with my forehead vein there? You see that? That's new. Me pointing at my forehead as if at a mirrored image. Or a non-mirrored image, I suppose. Big LinkedIn night at our house, yeah. Oh, those LinkedIn nights sure are exciting. Just get a stream health notification. I don't know. just on OBS. All right, I think I'm going to switch to our work camera. There we are. Oh, excuse me. We all have our little vices. All right, so it has been a while, and to ease back in, I want to start by kind of conquering the whole cloak. So this is going to be a very chill, which is a positive spin on tedious, part of the process. All I had done, this piece was black primed, and the inside was still white, unprimed vinyl. So I did, I think, 2 coats of this dioxazine purple. But it's still looking kind of streaky in there, if you can see. Let's see if we can adjust this light to be a little more even. There we go. That's an intense shadow there. Watch out, buddy. So yeah, let's just slop on another coat to try to even out this base. And even if it's still kind of streaky, because dioxazine purple is on the more transparent side, we're going to be dry brushing other layers over it, so that'll obscure any streakery. Streakiness? Streakery sounds better. Thank you for connecting with me so I don't appear like a fake profile online. I'm a real boy, no strings, like Phantomocchio. Oh, speaking of Pinocchio, there he is. You know, you can't be a weird Geppetto man that makes little guys if you don't have a Pinocchio. It used to talk, but we had a falling out. Uh-oh, somebody didn't wash his brush 8 weeks ago, whenever I was last in here. Let's try to soften this guy up. Oof. All right, that's good enough for a slob like me. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Whew, all right. I'm painting again. My goodness, how I've missed it. Yeah, you like that you make a casual Pinocchio joke, and I just have a prop right at hand. I've had the idea for this channel gestating for over 10 years now. And I don't think it really could have come to fruition earlier, before I moved into this house and kind of had to, in moving, take stock of all the weird junk that I have. And I brought, I don't know, like 1/3 of it into my boiler room, which is in no way a fire hazard, so that I have little spoofs and goofs to throw at the camera. And if you think that Pinocchio is the creepiest doll I have in this room, you'd be wrong. So wrong. There are creepy dolls in here I don't even know about. Ooh, I just really upset myself thinking about that one. What did I mean? Why did I say that? Oh, this is such a hard piece to cover evenly, and I'm probably going nuts over nothing, because how would, you know, when his body occupies this cape or cloak or whatever the official term is, how much of this are we even going to see? Or will the part that I skip and just gloss over be the one part that is visible? So I don't know. Yeah, this is so tough. Heyman doll stream when? Oh, I gotta make a Heyman doll. Heck, I could do an episode on that. No, I can't start making all-out dolls. I feel like that would be crossing a point of no return for me. Wait, I have made dolls. There are dolls I've made that I don't even know about. No, I made, oh man, you'll actually appreciate this because I think you introduced me to this, Shane. When we were in college, I got my mom really into the Batman Spider-Man web series. And as a Christmas present, I made by hand a set of like plushies where I just kind of cut out like front panel, back panel, really, really rudimentary, and filled it with stuffing and sewed it by hand in a really crappy fashion. And my Batman, Spider-Man, Tuba, and Pumpkin. So the one-of-a-kind set that I think is still on display somewhere on her dresser. So yes, I have made dolls. Now, if I start making puppets, that's when I'll be gone. I'll be unreachable after that. There's no turning the ship around at that point. He's a doll man now. I have thousands of dolls. Your store appears to be empty. I have one doll. Oh, you were thinking of what? Batman Spider-Man the other day? Yeah, it's the series has completed. It wound up having kind of a long story arc. I think it was 2 seasons long. But it turns into a very, very sweet show beyond just like the silliness that it opens with. And it's good for little kids. And I know some of us have a little baby girl now. So it's very, very cozy YouTube playlist to just throw on. All right, loud noise is incoming. I'm going to hit this guy with the hairdryer so we can keep on moving. Oh, it occurred to you to show Batman Spider-Man to Lottie. Yeah, another good one that I don't know where it's streaming now. I just wound up it kept hopping platforms, so I bought it on DVD. Over the Garden Wall. Why am I talking to that camera? I'm on here. I'm still getting used to this, being accountable to an audience. Let's see. I'm going to try to go back to the makeup sponge. Now, I want to, before I proceed with the lining of the cloak, I want to match it to his tie here, which it started with the dioxazine purple, and then we dry brushed, yes, this amethyst metallic purple, which is kind of pale, so then I brought in the color shift. Uh-oh, which one? Uh-oh. Yeah, that's color shift. This one. So, purple flash. There's always so much text on these. I have trouble finding the name. So, yes, amethyst first. Oh, hi, Motivated Simp. Welcome. Yeah, it's funny with this Phantom of the Opera. I was talking earlier. I'm in a play, and one of the characters is the ghost of silent film star John Barrymore, who played. I only mostly knew as playing Mr. Hyde in the silent Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And I have a resin model kit of him that I've wanted to paint as a project with my dad, and we might do that this summer now that I think about it. Oh, look, this is working so much nicer than trying to scrape a dry brush across all this, because I have to just like reach into this weird little rigid cavity. But what was I saying before I got into rigid cavities here? So I showed my director as a prop idea, since it takes my character moves into the apartment of John Barrymore and is haunted by his ghost. But his ghost is there to teach me to play Hamlet, because he did it on stage. And so we're thinking of ideas of like how I would decorate my apartment while I'm living and studying under this, living with and studying under this ghost. And I said, well, they said like, what kind of things would John Barrymore have in his apartment, or this admirer of Barrymore have in his apartment? And I said, well, I have a resin model kit of John Barrymore as Mr. Hyde that I haven't built yet, but I probably could in time for the opening. But I'm worried, you know, because I care for these things very deeply because I put a lot of work into them, and they're fragile, and I don't like the idea of, you know, somebody having to move it on and off stage every night and so forth. But I showed the pictures and I said, that's so cool. And my director said, why do you have this in your house? I said, oh, I just make guys like this. And then somebody asked like, oh, what are y'all doing for the rest of the weekend? And I said, I'm going to go home and paint Lon Chaney's Phantom of the Opera in my basement. This is just what I do. Ooh, something just happened there. Do you see that? I just dipped the sponge here in, ooh, look at that. I dipped it in a little bit of water to kind of refresh the blotted paint here when I set it up to dry brush, and it's turning blue. The presence of water is turning it blue somehow. That's cool. Let's just try to even that out. All right. Yeah, you can't really see this on camera, but I'm just trying to get to this other side so that at least you can see some layers of paint at the edge where this will definitely be the most visible. But yeah, I have so many of these weird little... John Lovett's also played Hamlet. That is a quality, deep Tales from the Crypt reference, Shane. My gosh, that's impeccable. Because I definitely want to revisit that episode. Yeah, the play is called I Hate Hamlet. So it's a frustrated actor in his 30s, go figure, whose successful medical TV drama gets canceled. So I guess it ain't that successful. He moves to New York and on a whim kind of gets reluctantly cast as Hamlet in Shakespeare in the Park. And so he's staring down the barrel of a career change. Is he making the right move? It's such a departure, but like he had been doing drama school and all this. I'm just rambling character stuff now. So he's caught in this decision of like whether to go after another TV show or do this prestigious thing that is for free in the park to face the ultimate challenge. And he's coached by the ghost of John Barrymore, who cannot leave the apartment until he has played Hamlet. Yeah, so enough about that for now. I'm going to ramble on it more, I'm sure. But there's our lining, and I'm pretty happy with that. So now we got to clean up these edges and do, this is still just the black primer that was sprayed by the previous owner. I bought this pre-owned on eBay? eBay? I don't know how to say it. So let's go to one of our, this is pure black, but I don't know how much more we have in this bottle. Just going to start with this as a base. Oh man, there we go. This bottle, I've twisted it so much that it has lost its cylindrical form. Haven't we all? Oh, not like that. I was just being silly, not dirty. But now they're all thinking about it, dude. Come on. All right. Oh, that should be fine. Now, how am I going to do this? Ooh! You guys, huge news! I finally bought gloves. Like a big boy grown-up model painter. I'm going to have nitrile gloves. Ugh. But yes, Shane, I want to revisit that episode of... Hiya, Jack! Ruprecht, what did we do when Uncle Ted was here? Let's see. Maybe I just wear this thing like a glove. Ooh, that kind of works! Yeah, all right. Let's do the hard part. We'll do the hard part last. Just doing a broad base coat. Come on, how do we... it's not perfectly designed for this. I mean, could I Let's see if this works better. Remember, by the time you reach 40, you should, well, you know. You saying gloves jumped me. Yes, I am so irresponsible as a painter because, you know, you're just handling it with the natural oils of your skin and whatever other paint and debris you have on your fingertips. It'll leave an impression in the paint, or it'll peel paint of something that you've already done. And I always feel like a dope when it happens, but I have not done anything about it until recently. I picked him up. We were going to the hardware store for something unrelated. Oh, also big news. I learned how to snake a drain, which is why we were going to the hardware store. Because we called Roto-Rooter over for a quote because our shower had gotten very suddenly, like, totally clogged. Like, it wasn't over time. So we didn't know if, like, there had been, you know, like, a pipe got ruptured or something. And they were going to charge us almost $700. And we said, like, how much work does that take? How long is the process? And he said, oh, sometimes it takes 20 minutes, sometimes it takes 2 hours. And I'm like, I really don't want to pay $700 for what could be 20 minutes of work. He says, oh, I'll give you my discount. It was like under $500. And after he left, we looked up, and it's just like, yeah, it's generally worth around $100 to $200 you'd be prepared to spend to have a plumber do that. And it's like, oh, so your discount is that you'll only charge us twice what it's worth instead of 3 times. So then we looked up how to do it yourself, and we went to the hardware store. We got the auger, we got the gloves, and we got some laundry detergent, and it came to $69.70, exactly 10% of what we would have spent if we had gone with the guy's quote. So, he tried to Beetlejuice us. That's my 30s reading of Beetlejuice, is that it's just about the bureaucracy never ending, that it's a movie about the hazards of adulting. You got this young, happy, blissful couple, and people are just looking to get in their way and take advantage of them, and scam any way they can. I say people, one guy, pretty much one guy, but they still have to deal with, you know, going to the, what do they call the office where Juno is? I don't know. Ugh, this paint is really chunky, so I'm just trying to, I don't know if you could see that, but there's a lot of these little paint boogers that I really want to get out of there. Ooh, the gloves actually kind of help. I don't think I really covered this end, because I would remember being this awkward and uncomfortable. That's my secret, Cap. I'm always awkward and uncomfortable. Come on now. We'll definitely gotta clean that up. There we go. Ooh, really missed. See all that bare vinyl in there? Oh, I didn't, man, I completely missed that section of purple. You know what, let's at least paint it black. So if it's visible, it'll just look like a shadow. And that's called taking a lazy shortcut. As a master of my craft, I certainly am not. It gets rough and shoddy here at times. I just do it for the pleasure of doing it. Okay, I'm gonna, oh, wow. It's tight in there. Just gotta get this bottom edge here. And there's an air bubble. I don't know if you can see right along there. It's not usually an issue you find on a vinyl kit, but in resin, especially the garage kits of the 80s and 90s, and 2000s and 2010s and 2020s. But resin kits could have a lot of bubbles, especially if it's older castings that have been used more. So you gotta be, that's something you have to be on the lookout for to fill in. Let's clean the brush before we forget. Hi, Grace. I'm not exactly sure what your little chuckle is about, but I know the tone with which it is delivered. I know I probably said some sort of Tobias Funke inadvertent double entendre. Okay. When I did myself a favor, and for my live streaming water bottle, I didn't bring a glass jar that looks a lot like my brush cleaning beakers. I brought my Camp Crystal Lake water bottle, a completely different kind of vessel, so that I don't make that fatal mistake, which we all know is coming. It's going to happen. Ooh, I forgot to put lemon in there. Right. Let's, you know what? I'm just going to stand that on end. And let that dry. What do we want to do? Or what can we do in the meantime? No, let's keep going on the cloak because it's almost there. I'm going to go back in here. Hair dryer time. Now, Grace, I know your comment means we're watching TV. We're watching on the TV and the baby is sitting down in the playpen or something to that effect. But it really sounds like some sort of assassin's code, like I'm your contact. Anyway, you can see now that we've dried that paint, you can see some shiny parts that I missed. So I'm just going to go back in for another even coat. Right in there. I might just do this as spot work. No, go even, come on. But then I do risk getting some more of the paint boogers in there. God, I hate saying that word. But I don't have a better name for what they are. I'm cool, man, I'm cool. What says down here, Phantom of the Opera. Phantom of the Opera, 1948, 1970, Universal Pictures. Wow. Back when they stamped the trademark info on these kits. This was, I'm sure I've talked about this in one of the earlier installments of this kit, but this was the first of the mass-produced Horizon line that they put out. This was kit number 1, which it says on the box, in their Monster series. Back in 1985, so this is actually one of the oldest garage kits that I own. Well, not a garage kit, because it was mass-produced. Come on, there's something in there that I want out of there. She starts crying when you stop crying? I didn't realize I was crying, but then I often don't. Hi, Lottie. This is your Uncle Chris. Your weird Dr. Frankenstein uncle. We all have one. Okay. That side's looking good. What is that? Oh, fine. Just spread it out. I want to be done with this piece. Just going to dip a little bit of water on the brush to help smooth out the texture here. And this will also help cover any little spots that I missed. Two by two hands of blue. That was the first thing I thought of. Yes. Okay. Now, we hair dry. Just spread this out because we don't want to see any of those little runnels. Old Dangus runnels. It's a word you don't say every day. Come on, dry. Dry, dry like the wind. Dry like the wind. Dry like that joke. Let's clean up. Everybody clean up. Ooh, my gloves just farted. Let's see if I can do that again. Ah, no. Arg! Arg! And that is the sound I make when I stand and sit. Oh, speaking of which, this was a dispiriting thing as I was getting set up here and, making sure audio and video are all coming through fine. I moved such that both of my knees cracked while I was looking at my streaming software, and I saw the green audio spikes of my knees cracking, and I really, really didn't need that. I'm about to enter my late 30s in a couple of weeks. Didn't need that. Okay. Now, yeah, we can put this black away, and we're gonna start dry brushing. Dry brush my cares away. What? Okay. Oh, snapping in rubber gloves feels weird. Why did I do that? Oh. All right. What is this? This is color shift black flash. No, not yet. Not yet. Let's find something a little closer. Is this my... No, that's licorice. Where's wrought iron? Wrought iron, hello? That's wrought iron. It answered me. Oh, this is very watery. Okay, we're going to use the makeup sponge, the egg. See if this will work. Okay. And yeah, this is so watery because I've tried to make this bottle of paint last. It's such a useful color, but I don't know how useful it is at this consistency. Let me clean off the egg a little bit more. Here, let me show you a real egg. Okay. Whoop. Okay. Okay. It's working. It's a very subtle shade. But now I have to commit. I have to do it to the whole dang layer. Nope, get those. I don't want to say it. It's one of my least favorite words. The little paint clumps out of there. Boy, these hot July nights in my unair-conditioned boiler room, I really regret committing to the whole lab coat stylistic choice. Who am I kidding? No, I don't. I love wearing this thing. But it gets hot! Come on, spread that out more. Boy, I'm really feeling this in my shoulders, actually. If you want to get the tone, get that nice, that Terminator action figure type of striation, you want to blot a little phantom cape with the makeup sponge egg, and it's good. They make a phantom cape. It's fantastic. Ah! Come on, man. Hang on. Oh. All right, pulled my sleeves up for all the good that'll do me. And I didn't eat the egg. I know some of you were betting against me. You doubted me. The boo box. Who gets it? Who gets it? Who gets it? Who gets it? That is not Joanna's egg. That one went over my head, Grace. Joanna's egg. Yeah, I don't think I know that. Is it a Game of Thrones type of dragon thing? Because that... I still see nary an episode of the Throny game. Okay. Get a little more there. Doesn't matter. It's a subtle layer, and we're going to go over it with something else. But what? What shall we go over it with? What other... I know I'm kind of running low on neutral grays. They're all going to my hair! No, not yet. I'm getting blonder as I age. That's weird. Probably all the peroxide in my diet. Oh man, the gloves don't help. Oh. I mean, they help practically, but it feels so weird. It's like pulling on your sideburn hair. You ever do that? That's a bad feeling, man. I'm keeping my watery wrought iron. I'm keeping my watery wrought iron open because I think this gray is a little too light for my purposes, so I want to try to mix them up. If there's anything in here, come on, man. All right, we're going to have to do the water trick on this bottle. And that's why I like to keep a beaker of clear water, clean water. That was way too much. Oh, man, multitasking on camera ain't easy. Gray's better than the alternative. A Rescuers Down Under. Yeah, I wouldn't. I've only seen that once as an adult, and before that it was preschool. But weirdly enough, I remembered a lot of details of it from when I was in preschool. I have a weird, deep memory that goes back to those ages. The baby. Don't hit my camera. Don't hit my camera. Well, don't. It'd be your fault, dude. Oh yeah, that's far too watery. But that might help us in the short term. Yeah, I want to get a little kind of a middle ground here. So let's get that. Get that. Mix them up together. What do you get? Gray. That just made me think of a movie. I don't even know if I could remember the title. But I remember enjoying it. An old Glenn Ford murder mystery movie in black and white. And one of the witnesses or suspects or whomever that he interviews, her job is painting store mannequins. And so he walks in, I'm going to say she was like the roommate of the victim or something. And he does his interview, and now she's sad because she's thinking about the murder. And she continues airbrushing this mannequin in this black and white movie. And I just blurted out, it's still gray. And now I'm not allowed to watch movies because of that. Uh-oh, something happened back here. What the heck did I get on my gloves? We're going to have to clean that up. Oh, man, that looks awful. What was it? I don't know, maybe I got to clean that surface off. Well, I just have egg on my face now. That happened live on the internet. I told you I feel dumb and goofy. feel like a kid when that happens, a dumb kid. We'll try concealing it with this dry brush too. You know what? It's a fresh enough mistake that we might be able to just get some water on there and peel it off. That's not the right word for the thing I meant. Man, what happened? What happened to you? All right, that'll have to be a separate step. Let's do some more of this. Okay. Actually, considering that Jack and Grace and Shane and Carrie are on with their brand new baby girls, what percentage of my audience right now, because I know it's small, what percentage of my audience is infants? It's probably a healthy percent. Was not my target demographic. Whew, it is getting toasty in here. But I gotta commit to the whole doctor bit. He's a mad doctor. Okay. I think I'm satisfied with that highlighting, and we're going to do another step of that. Let's put these grays away. Oh. Ugh. Oh, I want to take the gloves off so bad. I'm so uncomfortable. Maybe that's why I never work with rubber gloves on. It's like always pulling your fingertip away from the nail and I just want it out of here. Come on. All right. I'm going to regret it instantly. I know it's going to damage the kid because now my hands are also clammy. So I definitely shouldn't be handling this thing. But I'm gonna because I'm live on camera and I got to keep y'all entertained. Who's talking to me? Erin is currently in the nursery rolling in the crib with a leg in the air working her way to sleep. Huzzah to that. Watch me paint tiny monsters. It'll put your child to sleep. All right, let's just gonna use our little wash tray here to thin out some black paint because I don't want to completely undo all the highlight work that I did, but I want to just kind of go over this area that got scraped away or it picked up something. I think it was maybe from laying on this dried pink paint that's on my work surface, so I guess I'll have to clean that off. Or I could go back to working the way that I always did, which was having waxed paper down. I'd put newspaper and then waxed paper on top of that. But these last few years I really got sick of looking at the headlines on the newspapers. So I went the cutting board. But I guess that shouldn't stop me from using some wax paper. Well, you know what? Before I do that, let's try picking up some of the black paint that's on the highlights so it just stays in the recesses. Try to save some of that highlighting work, but we're going to do a less subtle layer after this anyway, so who cares? Well, they care, dude. They tuned into your live stream. I really do appreciate all of you who tune in to literally sit with me and watch paint dry. I love that Jack and Carrie are talking about mini painting. I love getting conversations started like this. It's fun. And I think the four of you met at our last Halloween party. I know Shane and Carrie that year were Danny and Christian from Midsummer. So I think Jack and Grace were pirates at that party, if I'm getting my timelines right. Boy, we miss throwing those Halloween parties. We got to figure out how to do something like that at the house here. I had one idea, just to really mess with my neighbors. I'd love, as October starts to adopt summer weather, because of, I'd love to have a cannibal-themed barbecue, where just all the costumes have to be cannibal-themed. You could be, like, I will be grilling in full Leatherface gear, of course. But we could have any version of Hannibal Lecter, Anthony Hopkins or Mads Mikkelsen. I don't know if zombies would count, because, Dr. Millard Rausch says these creatures cannot be considered cannibals. Cannibalism, in the true sense of the word, implies an interspecies activity. These things prey on humans. They do not prey on each other. I could quote Dr. Millard Rausch all day. As you can see in the Dawn of the Dead film that I made on this very channel with my vocal co-star Shane. Shane, that is a video that I wish I could show to Deanna Camille. Deanna Camille was our documentary professor. She was my academic advisor. She was the professor who interviewed me at our college, and one of the examples of my work that I brought was the very first iteration of this channel, where I was in a media production elective class in high school. And the assignment was make a process video, a how-to video. And it was really loose, this was like an easy, kids used it as a study hall, but I used it because I wanted to make movies. So I did a tutorial on how to paint, from the same company, Horizon, a Captain America model. And it was half an hour long, and I shot this intro with my parents' little 320p camcorder, digital camcorder. That I shot a lot of my college films with, actually. And it was the example I was kind of least proud of to show. The other was a lightsaber fight that I staged, and I rotoscoped the lightsabers in the same class. And then one was a silly music video that is still on YouTube, and that's all I'm going to say. But Deanna gravitated towards the model video and just the intro. We didn't watch the whole process because it was a half hour long. But she said, she just loved these different weird, eerie creatures just like kind of creeping out of the dark. And she pointed that out as a through line later on as like in my work writ large. And so that's why I still do this. And it's why like the only short films I've been making are these kind of model painting videos. Zombies count, scientists. Yo! He's doing the dialogue with me. Anyway, yes, every time I rewatch that, which is a lot, I can imagine Deanna's reaction to when your voice comes on, of just like, I always have that thought of like, hey, these two are still making things together, pretty much half a lifetime ago, right? Oh my God, wait. I'm about to turn 36. Divided by 2, I think, is 18, right? Half a lifetime. These college friends o' mine. So yeah, that's one of the things I like about that video, is hearing our voices together on camera. So I don't know if... I haven't been paying attention to where my hands are on camera because I've been getting maudlin and rambly. But just to give this kind of like a silky, glossy thing, I don't want it to look like the same fabric as his suit. But I think I am going to do one more layer to dial it back. Right now it looks a little too Liberace. Like, ooh, I don't even want to try to put that in yet. Yeah, let's try to do one more pass, maybe with this watery gray. And now that that rose is in bloom, a light seems to come from the gray. It seems to gleam on the gray, right? Okay, I am not mixing this lighter gray with anything, but I want to try to really get a lot of it off of the sponge and build it up slowly. So let's lean in and actually get this on camera. And yeah, just my theory here is getting a layer of a matte color on top of the color shift black. This is just a little glitzy. So if we have the glitz and glimmer in the recesses of the fabric, that'll look really cool and give, you know, a fabric effect, where instead of the highlights being metallic, the recesses being that way. The problem you see is I don't think I properly cleaned the sponge, and there's still some color shift glitter in there. So now I'm worrying that this is making, and I'm not worrying too seriously, but I'm worrying that this is making the fabric look too light, this gray, but we'll see when it dries. And if it's still looking too light, as long as it's hitting the highlights properly, we can go back in with a black wash and even it out. And this gives us a chance to not overdo, to continue going over that area that got messed up earlier. I feel like Diane Wiest and Edward Scissorhands doing this. The light concealing cream goes on first. Then you blend and blend and blend. Blending is the secret. God love Diane Wiest. And I'm glad she's back in the Practical Magic 2 trailer. I saw that she's there, and Stockard Channing, who my wife mistakenly called Channing Tatum the other day. Oh, where is that wife o' mine? She is at a bachelorette party, which is why I am alone this weekend and why I need to fill my lonely hours painting the Phantom of the Opera. For her. This is going to be a gift for her. But I have another project lined up that I want to do, and I want to finish this guy first. Okay. I can't stop. I can't stop. Okay. All right. I'm going to let that sit. You know what? While I have this out, I'm going to do some more of this on the pants. Oh, no, I don't. That looks awful. It's awful, man. Oh, now you got to do it on this side. We're going to go in with a black wash. It's all going to be okay. Just cool out. Cool out! Oof. Why couldn't I let well enough alone? So now I've over-highlighted the crease in his pants. Smithers, you ironed the crease into my jeans. Now I look like a square. That crease is in your legs, sir. So it is. That's something I think about all the time. All right, let's not repeat that step for the arms. Let's clean our sponge as best we can. Squeezing out the sponge. I really don't want to squeeze it out into the clean beaker. Yay. All right. We have some extra paper towel right here. Let's see if we can, and maybe we just have a sponge paper towel standing by. I need a makeup sponge paper towel. Okay. So, I think we're going to go back into some more detail work. Or you know what? Let's... Okay, I'm going to take his head... Do I take the head off yet? Or do I want to do some of the face work? Let's do some face work before I do that. Just so I don't have to hold it by that piece. I'm going to... where can I set this cape that is out of the way? There we go. No, don't fall down. Just lean it against the camera. That can in no way backfire. Okay. All right, first thing, little easy thing. Warm white. All right, that sounds good, but I seem to remember this one being kind of clotted. Ugh. Okay, I think I broke through, but yeah, that looked clotted. Why does that feel more comfortable than booger for me? I don't know. Ugh, yeah, I hate that word. Jeez. No, not this brush. Not this brush. Okay, fine. This brush. I have no conviction. I don't know. Just getting a little bit of water on the brush. We're going to go in. And we're going to paint the buttons. Because as a refresher, I painted his shirt and vest kind of a very beige color. To give the appearance of not being totally clean, he keeps his clothes as clean as he can, living in a sewer lair. There's a lot of water damage. There's a lot of crud in the air. But I think the buttons would still be a clean white because they're not fabric. And it's just little details like that that really draw the eye to different parts of the kit. There, that was easy. That was an easy step. Now, why don't we... So I did do... It looks like I did do a black base coat and some gray dry brushing, but then we got all over the lapels. I don't know why I started with that. Now, what did I use? Pure black or licorice? Let's stick with, no, that's wrought iron. There. Pure black, here we go. You're all here with me for now. Thank you, Grace. What an ominous sentiment. You got some paint buildup here. This is how your paint starts getting chunky, as if you can't close the bottle all the way. All right. This one. I'm going to go with a smaller brush. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. 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 I will come back and redo that edge. This is tricky because I'm doing a black on white edge. So you gotta have a very steady hand. It's why I got all quiet all of a sudden, which I'm sure you all enjoyed. All right, that's not too bad. Let's see if we can get back in there. All right. Okay. Whew. Let's just spread out that paint so we don't get a little bit of an edge there. Got to get this bit down here, the end of the waist of the jacket, I guess you'd say. Now to get the back of his collar. This has me wondering, are morticians considered black collar workers? Or maybe that'd be funeral director. I just want to clean up that edge there. Hmm. Nice and clean. So just going in, trying to work back the black line so that it lines up with the sculpt where the jacket ends and the shirt begins. Because if you don't fully cover that line, the light will always catch it, and you can see you didn't paint inside the lines, which is important even in the third dimension. But because it's such a stark color shift, you also got to make sure it's really even. That's when watering the paint down helps, so that it just carries over the surface. It doesn't get chunked up or leave any rough edges. All right. Ooh, there's a chunk. There's a chunk. All right. Let's clean our brush. And yeah, I might as well hit this with the hairdryer. Why risk ruining the paint, huh? All right. Now, I'm going to go back in and fine-tune some of the facial details that we were working on last time. I want to do a little dry brush. So here's my little dry brush. There, let's use that mistake to wet our brush. This is canary yellow. I think the last step that I did on the face was doing some spot washes here, but you can see it kind of went over the edge, so I just want to dial that back and bring out our highlights more. Not even drying the brush that much because I want this paint to carry across these highlights. really want to get a cleaner edge on those highlights at the center of his brow. So I just want to do kind of a... Too much, too much. He's getting a little too yellow and fantastical and surreal for what I was going for, but I don't hate it yet. I do want to try to dial it back to match the look of the rubber mask that I have hanging on my wall now, which is fun because I was deathly terrified of that mask as a child. And now I see it every time I'm in here. I hang it on the wall with pride, and mostly as a reference. And I put it on to take pictures of myself with the model for the thumbnails for these live streams. Right, we did that. I want to do the same thing on the hands, because the hands definitely need some more highlight work. I'm going to turn the light down. Oop. There we go. I'm sorry, it was so blasted out there for you. Although it's really something I should adjust on the computer. Because now I can't see. Hmm. So again, everything is looking much yellower than I wanted, but we're going to work that back. Right now I'm doing this just to kind of even the skin tone out and get the right values in there. But before we go on, just want to see if I can adjust the... No, not that! Oh, maybe I can't adjust the filters. Here we go. No, come on. Oh, yeah, there we go. That looks good. I wonder if I could just make this look like I'm shooting log and leave it like that. Bring that brightness down. Oh my goodness. Ugh. What have I done? Oh, now I've really... Ah. Folks, you ever watch a man drown? Wow, come on, man. Go back to this guy. All right. I think that's where we started. See, that's still blown out to me. Oh, Jack, yes, take off. Thank you so much for hanging. Again, thank you for watching paint dry with me. Take care of yourselves. We'll be in touch soon. Filters. Maybe it's just... I mean, the solution is to spend many dollars on a new camera. But I don't have many dollars right now, so we stick with this little 720p number that doesn't have a tripod mount, even though the internet said that it did. Now, don't blame the internet for all your troubles. Mm-hmm. Look at his creepy jaundiced hands. We're going to get some more red values in there. Hey, comrades. Austin, we won. Okay. Let's leave that for now. Oof. I still have some black wash left over here, so I want to go over the pants. So I'm just going over these sleeves with the thin black wash because I think I'm going to go over and redo the grayish highlights of his suit, which again, you run the risk of overdoing it all the time. But I want to get, once I get the look of his suit kind of unified, we can start putting him together. And then we'll be done. But I still want to noodle on some of the facial features, and I want to get some more washes in there. But I'm just, as I go over these sleeves to let them dry, I'm putting these little clampies on here. And the reason I'm hanging it from the hands is if I do it the other way around, the wet paint will drip down and we'll get black streaks on the hands, which we don't want. Yeah, we'll just go over the whole jacket like this. And again, most of his jacket's going to be under the cloak anyway, so it's all perfunctory, eh? Yeah, that Austin Powers reference was for you, buddy. We'll have to be careful not to get, because there's a little sliver of white waistcoat at the bottom of this piece, so I don't want to get any black paint on there. And then I got some black paint on there. That's okay, it wiped right off. All right. Oh, see, that's what you don't want to have happen. So we got to flush that out of there with some water. Sure, it is also contaminated, dirty water, but what water isn't these days? But no, you just want to thin out any fresh mistakes like that so you can flush the area, just like a wound. All right, we'll let him sit and dry while I plan my next moves. What can I mess up next? What color eyes do we want to give this guy? You know, I did the first difficult step of placing symmetrical, aligned eyes, just the black base, but I got to do the other layers to the eye. So I got to find the iris, and then I got to do the highlights of the iris and the pupil. At this scale, I might not do all of those, because if you try to put too much detail at a smaller scale like this, it just gets distracting and messy looking. So you want to go for the effect and not necessarily the accuracy of how the eyes would look. I don't know. Something's telling me, I'm thinking green eyes right now, but that may change. But before we get to that, to dial back the yellowish, like more neon green effect that he has right now, I want to bring back in some of this, what is it called? Wedgwood green, which is very similar to the color of the rubber mask I'm referencing. Oh my goodness. I got a sound effects video playing in the back, and it was like an hour and a half long, and I guess it just ended. So the ad just scared the heck out of me. Let's skip that. Let's see what we have next. All right. Back to it. So I just want to bring this Wedgwood green in at the edges here and work inwards to try to blend it all together. Top of his head looks like a hard-boiled egg, doesn't it? We can show you a real egg. All right. I'm going to do the same thing but with a smaller brush because there's kind of a hard edge there. Right between the bridge of the nose and his eye socket. So I'm going to cover that up. I'm going to go a little too far into the tip of the nose and then blot it off with my finger. Okay, I like that. Let's try to apply that same dry brush to the hands, which are still hanging upside down. Ah! Maybe not, maybe not. Oh, heck, do it anyway. All right. You know, it's 8:07. I kind of want to let this sit and plan out my next moves for another month and a half, probably. But no, we'll try to get back to this maybe even tomorrow. We've got a very open weekend. So, we'll switch to the other camera here. And I can show you. Hello! Here's how our guy is looking. There we go. Ah! Definitely more cohesive than when we started out. I want to bring some more washes into the... Thank you, Carrie. Some more washes into the recesses, again, to make him look a little more grounded and look a little more like realistic flesh. Although a bright green Phantom of the Opera is not the worst thing and certainly not unheard of. There we go, bring the light down so you can see him better. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for hanging out today. This was absolutely lovely. It just started raining again. And what better day to sit into a basement and paint a little monster man. So again, thanks for sitting with me and putting up with my jokes and catching all my deep, deep references to Type Big Frank. Big Frank! Oh, he's in the next room, okay? He's not right at hand. I almost brought him in today, too. All right, I'm going to rip off my lava. I'm going to go just because now I feel like I have to prove the point. Hang on. Here he is, just like I said. Did you get that? Here he is, just like I said. Let's see, does he still work? I know I have replaced his batteries at least once. This is my original too, not an eBay reacquisition. Nothing. Oh, come on. Oh man. All right, we got to fix him up then. Yeah, I had him standing by because I think he's gonna figure into the intro that I've been working on for 6 months now for this channel. A little channel trailer. But yeah, he's gonna stay in here now. He's definitely gonna make some more appearances. There he is, that's right. Yeah, I still remember seeing the commercial for that guy, again, when I was 3 years old. And he was under the Christmas tree that year, along with a Tyrannosaurus from the first Jurassic Park that also is worth lots of money now. And so I put both of those guys under the tree as a decoration each year, among other toys. I got the Turbo Man. It's just a doll. He's a stupid little plastic doll. I've got my Turbo Man. I got, Buzz and Woody and Jesse. When we brought Jesse down, it was my childhood copy. But my wife was cleaning off Jesse's face because she was kind of dusty. And I just looked at her, I said, I dare you to play the song right now. Where she sings about being friends with her girl, her kid, as Kristen cleans this doll from her, that she had the same one, but it was my copy. She didn't play the song. Anyway, that's enough rambling. Gosh, dude, I'm just yammering at this point. What are your thoughts? I'm going to sign off. Thanks again for hanging out and watching paint dry with me. Remember, be a weirdo, not a creep. All right. Adios.